Saturday. It's a happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. And
I
yes,
just
I have my
love.
voice. I
I
may or may
love.
not have an old fashioned last night. Or was it this morning? Whatevs.
I said I was not going to repeat it. So you put yourself out there, lady, young
Oh,
lady.
I am putting myself out there, people. Apparently I did last night. I went to a comedy club with our good friend Ari.
Mm, mm.
We ended up there after some many great happy hours. Hi everybody. How Rose?
Hello, happy Saturday. It's
Saturday.
such a beautiful day. I'm so excited. No, what I was saying is, it's so funny how things happen in the back and just backstage. It's just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And anyways, I just love seeing Ref just made my morning. So I'm super excited to have him here today and for everyone to get to know. If you don't know Ref, where you been? Seriously, where you been? But anyhow, guys, thank you for being here and joining us. Welcome to this last edition of the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. So we're closing it out with a bang. Woo! Where's my applause, producer? No
I was
applause
gonna
today?
do it and then I'm a little slow. Okay, here we go.
Oh, she did the long one. She's like, well, there you go. There you have it. But yes,
It
this
was
is the
hey,
last one.
great month of celebration, amazing guests you've had, and Ref is gonna be amazing to close it out with. So
Brilliant,
cannot ask
stellar.
for more.
And absolutely, you I think you nailed it right there. I couldn't ask for a better guest to close out what's been one of the best, literally Hispanic celebrations that we've had in many years. From what I remember, all the different leaders who came out, just big, bold, and beautiful. This is what I call it that because it's just been amazing to see so many inspirational Latino leaders, women and men come across telling us of what they're working on in their communities, in their respective communities, and all over the world. So I am so proud. I am going to say it loud. Que viva mi gente latina. Los quiero mucho. Thank you so much for all the love that you guys have given me throughout the month. And yeah, I'm so excited too because this is my birthday month. My birthday is almost
It
here,
is.
so I get to celebrate.
I I can't believe that we're gonna party like it's your birthday.
We're gonna
I
party.
don't know how to sing it.
We're not
That's
gonna
all
do
I
a
know.
Sia style though, like last time, but we're gonna party
Yeah,
for
we are.
sure though.
We're gonna we're gonna make you celebrate your birthday, girl. If we have to come down to
Oh my
Houston, we'll do it.
goodness. I know, I know.
Oh,
There's so many different things to do here. That would be amazing. I think I would love to have you here in Houston, Sia. So maybe we'll put something together. I know Ref was here not too long ago, so we're definitely going to talk about that. But before diving into that, I was very inspired by this quote that we can talk about. Roberto Clemente, he said, if you have an opportunity to make things better and you don't, then you are wasting your time on earth. It sounds so harsh. However, though, isn't that at the end of the day that we all seek for that purpose? What is our purpose in making a difference in this earth? And so I know we spent the majority of our lives trying to achieve or find and then achieve what that purpose is. And so I believe that, if you're not on the journey to actually know what that is for you or what that looks like for you, you will get there. Sometimes the journey is the appetizer. That's what I always say.
sometimes the appetizer is better than the dinner. Let's be honest, man. I can't tell you
That
how
is
many
true.
times it's those small stories, those small moments become the most memorable moments. It's like, just reaching out and just touching someone's hand in that moment of need, right? Or it's, laughing together with a smile or just giving it simple gestures can make a world of difference for so many. So why wouldn't we be intentional about it? So I love that saying. And you know me, I'm like, fly bird. So I get it. Tough love, but also but tough love, but also love
Yes.
tough. You know what I mean? Like
Ah,
love,
yes.
fight for the love. Oh my gosh, I
Yes.
almost wanted to quote Keanu. Reeves. Did you
Mm-mm.
hear him? He's like,
Yeah,
I'm not a
no.
lover,
Listen to that.
or I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. You have? It was so good. Ah, all right.
Oh my gosh,
Did you
yeah,
just lose me?
the whole spiel that he did. Yes.
Oh yeah.
You're a little delayed here and there, but I still can see you. But anyhow,
Okay.
let's go ahead and get this started and bring him on. So let's run the intro
Let's get
and
this.
let's dance, dance, dance,
Let's
dance.
dance. And here we go.
Welcome to the Influencers Connection Corner.
And dance and dance. Hey, 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 hey. It's my birthday almost next week. Hey.
I know.
Oh
I
my
can't wait to celebrate you,
God.
beautiful.
I am super
We're
excited
gonna
for this
celebrate you.
this year though. This birthday has been for me, especially this year, has been very meaningful. So my I'm not gonna say my age. No, I'm gonna say it. My 41st birthday is gonna be amazing. My brother, mi hermano, Stephen Eng, hailing from New York. Thank you so much for joining us. And everyone in the comments, thank you for the love, for the constant just support that you guys give. Hola, Atul. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I always like to give you a shout out and, highlight those beautiful souls who always support and show up for one another. It's amazing. Hello, Mr. Sincera, hailing from Orlando, Florida. Thank you so
My
much for
birth
being
state.
here.
My
I
birth
know.
state.
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. Are artists horses? I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know who that is.
Uh, I don't know either. But anyhow, LinkedIn
There's
user.
my partner in crime. Partner in crime from last night. Hold on. Why is it not
Oh,
clicking?
oh, Ari, un besito para ti, mi reina hermosa. Thank you so much for showing up this morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. We need to catch up, girl. I've missed chatting with you this last week. But anyhow, talk about fourth quarter. Oh my goodness, has it been really, really busy? Hasn't it? It's like,
I, I I can't believe the year's almost over already. Like I'm like, oh my god, what happened? Like
yes,
my taxes
yes.
are like what? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's been like in the blink of an eye we're already about to celebrate 2025, and let me tell you, I am super excited for next year. But we'll talk about all the goals and things and plans in the next few shows that we're going to do. But anyhow, guys, I'm so excited. My Aggies play against LSU today, so if you see, I'm all decked out in Aggie gear. So hey, whoop, yay, Gigamax. I'm a crazy Aggie, gun ho Aggie, and nobody can take that away from me. That's my power. But anyhow, talking about Aggies, talking about Aggie land, I know my guest today, he recently was here and visited my alma mater as a featured speaker, as an honoree. I am just so elated to guys to get to know this amazing individual. So without further ado, let's go ahead and have enjoyed the conversation. I'm thrilled. Refugio Atilano, otherwise known as Ref, please welcome to the Influencers Connection Corner stage. And here he is. Welcome to the chaotic
He's
love
like,
here.
I'm so unimpressed. He's
I
like, wow,
love
you
it, both of
guys,
you guys.
wow.
I'm sitting big behind stage, just laughing my booty off. I swear to God, just phenomenal. And I think, Sia, to your point, the appetizer is better than the dinner.
Ooh.
I like the dessert too. Dessert's always, that's always better as well. And Rocky, happy upcoming birthday as well.
Thank you so much. Well,
Mhm.
what a better way to celebrate than having you here talk about, one of the things that it speaks to my heart, which is our Latino roots and
Mhm.
how we're using our just our leadership in order to inspire in the world globally. So please welcome and let the audience know who you are. A little introduction, if they don't already know where you guys been. Come on now. Good.
Yeah. So Ref Atilano, I'm in Chicago, second generation Mexican, a corporate guy. I wrote the Latino Leadership Playbook. I think we launched it last year, and I think we spoke right around this time last year. But yeah, just really excited. It's been a great year, getting the book out there. I still have my full-time jobs. I still work in corporate. I'm a senior leader. working in a global company. But now I've, kind of transitioned to bringing the book to life, bringing development to life, right? And one of the big elements that I'm driving kind of ties back to Texas A&M is I have development programs now, based on the book. So
Mhm.
for both professionals as well as for the students, right? I want to make sure that they're workplace ready. And it was interesting when I went to Aggie Land, the provost there, Tim Scott, was saying, they do it's really important to place them into industry, all the students, right? And Mike, I remember, it made me think. I was like, well, my focus is more on, once they hit industry, to accelerate them. So not just place, but accelerate, right? And so that's really my focus, is accelerating the development of everybody so we can close representation gaps at the top. That's really what it comes down to. And that's what I'm here for.
Ah, my goodness. You said so much in that just minute introduction. So we're going to take time to kind of unravel
Please.
what that looks like and how it came about. So
Mhm.
just tell us a little bit about, since this is closing out the Hispanic Heritage Month, your Hispanic background, your Latino background, family. I know you mentioned Mexican heritage, but
Mhm.
what does that look like for you and what has it done for you in your career?
Yeah, the Latino culture, it's very tight knit. We're, family's a big part of who we are. Being respectful is a big part of who we are. Our faith is big for us. So, all these elements, and it's helped shape me throughout my life. For instance, because of we're group oriented, even in the work. I think Sia, we talked about this last year. In the workplace, we're really great servant leaders. We're really great collaborators, right? And you talked about a little while ago, Rocky, the global perspective, and that's really key too as Latinos, because there's so many ethnicities within the Latino community, and it's natural for us to engage and just to be, not even to be curious. We just welcome everybody, and that can also be translated to the workplace, especially for a global company. So, for instance, I work with different communities around the world, and right away, my initial go-to is, let's connect culturally, let's connect personally first, and then businesses later, right? So it helps you get to places quicker than others can get, right? So it's a superpower, and it's those things like that. And just one more superpower we have is our passion, right? Our natural energy and passion. Rocky, you have it all day and every day. In All right, in the workplace, it's really powerful if used strategically, right? Um, if you have a new idea, if you're leading a team or an event, bring that passion, energy, but again, at those right moments. You don't want to be like that all the time, because you'll be known as a crazy person, which you don't want to be. But if you use that strategically, it can it can get teams and organizations energized. So those are ways that I bring my culture to the workplace.
I love that. I love that the fact that you call it a superpower. I see it the same way. It's an asset. Our Latino-ness, it's for me. It's always been kind of it's a distinct factor that sets me apart. I stand out, but I'm still, respected because I am able to infuse who I am, my authenticity, and bring it to the table to be an addition as opposed to a subtraction to whatever work landscape I'm in. And so I really, really appreciate that you say that, because most of us sometimes try to shy away from being unique and from that Latino aspect. And I'm like, no, hombre, celebrate it, parade it.
Right, absolutely. And it's so important too, because as Latinos, we don't like to stand out. And in the workplace, if you want to accelerate, you have to stand out, right? Because our competition is standing out. They're pushing hard, right? They're networking hard. They're developing hard, um, as I do, right? But all of us need to be that way. We need to literally show up beast mode in the workplace, I like to say, and it's doing all those things. It's the energy, it's the ideas, it's being bold and confident, operating on the things that matter to the organization, right? Don't just do busy work. Do high impact work, and work with others to identify those things. Those are the things that are going to get the needle moving for us.
Absolutely. Now, how does that look for you whenever you get to work with teams and empower them, right? Drawing in their culture. How are you able to help them equip with those tools?
Yeah. So I have my leadership programs. I do mentoring. I do coaching. And like I show Latinos the natural superpowers we have. I'm like, okay, so if I pull them in on an initiative, I put them out front. as an example, right? Because I know that we tend to stay behind. I'm like, no, this one you're going to be up front, right? So you start kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, and almost every time, we figure it out, and they push a little bit uncomfortable at first, but then they figure it out. And they're like, oh, I can do this, or I can do that, or I can talk to these senior leaders, right? And all of a sudden, the confidence grows. And once you kind of get the confidence going, you get a couple of wins, then it's game on from there. It's just rinse and repeat, and now you have a strong leader. And I do my best to activate the leadership in everybody I touch. For me, I can be out front all day because of my position, but it's not about me anymore. Really, it's about everybody else, and putting them out there and helping them blast through those barriers and show up big.
Oh my goodness. In the comments right now, I'm seeing Felipe Cofino. So shout out to you, mi hermano, my brother. Oh my God, I love him. And he wasn't in one of our past, shows, but another key individual who is a Latino leader, leading in his own field, in the industry. How do you come together with other powerhouses such as Felipe? I can think of Enrique. Shout out to you, my friend. So many wonderful individuals, especially here on LinkedIn. How do we all come together to make, continue pushing our people, not only our people, right, but teams and industries?
Yeah, I'm just like you, Rocky. I don't think I'm as great as you are, but I'm a strong networker. And I'm very strategic on my networking. So Enrique and others, just to tell everybody about my book, the Latino Leadership Playbook. When I wrote it last year, it was last year. I wanted to, first things people ask me is, why should we listen to you? I got that like across the nation, right? And I'm like, well, so I got 59 of the most influential business leaders in the world, literally Latinos, non-Latinos, right? Latinas. And so to your point, Rocky, I had to reach out and create these networks. So now I'm connected to really the most influential, mostly I think I have to get with Felipe now. Please, send me a note, Felipe, let's connect. But really the most influential, some of the most influential business powerhouses in the nation that contributed. And during this journey, now I'm getting to know almost, just a lot of people. I work for a global company. I lead a global ERG, so I get a lot of connections that way as well. But to your point, Rocky, my whole thing's about unity, Latino unity, and coming together, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I just gave a talk on. Good, we're good. Yes. Just gave a talk on Latino unity this past Monday. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see the thing. But it's really about bringing our entire community together. What's interesting is, and I always use the analogy in Rocky. We talk about, I love sports, right? And I love business too. I've never seen a winning team, business sports, win something big, a championship or other, get a big result without being united. I've never seen it, right? And that's the same thing with the Latino community and other communities, right? It's not just Latino folks, but all communities. But for I'll lead with Latinos. We cannot close representation gaps. We cannot, influence that crazy buying power we have unless we come together, right? We are a team, whether we like it or not. And the sooner we understand it and drive towards aligning, that's when things are going to happen. So my focus is on bringing the Latino population together.
And again, for us, I think that is one of the distinct factors that sets us apart as a community, is that unity, la unidad. We're really very powerful when it comes to that. And we believe a lot in it. And then obviously our passion, we're very driven. And when we come together, boy, y'all better get ready. That's usually what I say. Whatever we touch in unison, my goodness, it just expands and just creates this ripple of positive effect all across the globe, or whichever industry we're focusing on. But in this case, leadership is just so big. What are some of the trends that you're seeing right now, especially with our Latino sisters and brothers who are in leadership positions? What are some of the things that they're facing challenges with, or just anything that is going on in that spectrum? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will talk more about the people who aren't in leadership, because the ones in leadership, they're on the right track. Mm-hmm. And by the way, there's not many of us. So if you think about the corporate, this applies to all settings, but I'll just give you the corporate. You have early career manager, kind of like the senior middle management, and then you have the executive piece. What's happening today is everybody's getting stuck in middle management. And so beyond middle management, you're having 5 to 6% representation. There's nobody, right? I go at my level. If I go into the workplace, there's only 4 or 5 of us at my level, and everybody else is, not us. And so I did some research on this, and plus just natural observation. But it came down to one, at least a big thing. I saw it in Harvard Business Review, and it was such a true fact. They said, up to middle management, it's very hard skill focused. So if you're a marketer, marketing, you're going to be a great marketer. And Latinos are good at this. We know our craft. We're very strong in it. We're very intelligent when it comes to it. To make it beyond middle management to director, like I am, or senior director, VP.
We lost you again.
You need.
Back.
We just
back.
lost
Okay.
you.
Good.
It froze you with your hand in the air, though. So I'm gonna say, if you're gonna get frozen, at least you're like singing.
Yay! Can you see me now?
Yes, we're
Yeah, I can
good.
see you now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so like I said, after middle management, it's 85% leadership and soft skills, and only 15% hard skills. So as Latinos, we haven't, we're so focused on our hard skills, we haven't made that adjustment, right? We don't even know to make that adjustment. And that's a big piece holding us back. So in my book, I cover that. And, in my book, it's more that leadership focus at 85%. Because once you start operating in that 85% piece, it's game on from there. So Rocky, to answer your question, what I'm seeing out there is Latinos, we really need to focus on that development of the 85% piece, that true leadership capability, and start, getting beyond our craft, right? And always, craft's going to be there, but we got to really develop in new ways.
Yeah. And I know, Sia, your massive experience in the corporate world. What are some of the things that you could pretty much say to what he's saying, to what Ref is saying? You just have so much expertise in that. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big fan. With the larger the company, the more opportunity is to really listen on perspectives of your team. Because it gets very critical, right? Because the larger the company, everyone has a role to play, and it's a machinery. Good, bad, ugly, or indifference, we are part of, we're a cog in the wheel, right? We are part of the thing that keeps things turning. And so when you can blend in your cultural perspective in a way that, how should I put this? Leaders rise in times of difficult, like the challenges, right? And you rise to that level, and having multiple perspectives. And I'm not knocking us Americans. Don't get me wrong, everybody. Americans, it's a great country you live in. But if you are part of another culture as well, you can pull in another perspective to kind of help address certain challenges in a way that may not be seen from, wherever you're from, right? So I'm just trying to say it very gently, but also I think it's a superpower to have that multicultural, perspective, because we just have another lens we can look at, right? Especially when times are tough, when we have to make those tough calls. We can go back to, at least for me being Asian, right? Like really listening to the wisdom of people who've, lived Earth before you, right? Your elders, respect them. Yeah, there might be boomers and, whatever, where there some ideas are antiquated. But look, people, humans have existed for 30,000 billion years. Like,
Yes.
I don't know, depending on whatever your philosophy is. But what have we learned? So that's my
no, I can tell.
Oh, ranting lady, I see it in your eyes.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. It's just that you froze in such a pretty pose. So everybody's freezing today? What's going on? I think
so where did I freeze?
We're bringing the ice because this is such an amazing show, with our guests. So that's why it's like can't handle it, right? But no,
Ricky, I want to build on what Sia was saying because it's so critical. Yeah. It's interesting. About 6 months ago, a little bit over 6 months ago, my organization, again, a world-class global organization, created a new position, Director of Cultural Competency. And because of all the work I do, especially with the Latino community, as they said, you're going to be doing this now. Phenomenal opportunity. And my remit is to connect our experiences, our assets, right, our materials with the various communities. So we're starting with the Latino community, obviously, because of what I'm doing. But the goal is to really be for all communities around the world, not just Latino community. But Sia, to your point, I provide that lens, right? And not just the lens, I provide the connection. I can reach out to the community and they're going to trust me because I know the community. I'm from the community, right?
Yeah.
And that's very powerful to gain that trust, especially in healthcare, especially around clinical trials and things like that. Extremely important. And it has me thinking too, as I go to the Black communities or Asian communities, I'm definitely going to help lead, but I'm going to pull in representation, right? I want to make sure we're connecting in meaningful ways. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know the Asian community or, I know a lot of my Black, brown brothers and sisters, and I'm going to be there side by side, but I will really want to drive with representation that's going to drive meaningful outcomes. So great point.
Oh my goodness. You both are just giving just phenomenal insight in that. And to me, that is very important, right? Because sometimes we don't see it from the outside looking in, we may not understand it. And that's an Aggie thing, by the way. And from the inside looking out, we can't explain it. That's an Aggie saying. And sometimes those things may come on across as misconceptions. And it's very important to be able to have a seat at the table. Shout out Adi. I know, and she said a lot that phrase during our month long, having a seat at the table. How does that look for us? How do we get there? It's like we're resilient. That's another aspect that I love about ourselves. It's an asset and an attribute that we're very resilient as a community and as individuals, Latinos, and I think it goes back to being Latino, right, and our stories. But how do we show up for ourselves? How do we advocate for ourselves? And I know that this is one of the big components that you definitely teach within your community and talk about in your book. So please, if you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple of things I'll unpack there. First of all, the get a seat at the table. Then I'll talk about advocating for yourself.
Okay. Advocate
there you
for
go.
Yourself. Yes.
Go like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Are we good?
Yeah. Advocate for yourself is the last thing we heard.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about seat at the table before advocate for yourself. So, I hear all the time, hey, we need to create a seat at the table. So I'll hit a couple of things, but I'm more in the space of, create your own table. That's where I am. That's how I operate.
I love that.
Right. I'm coming with new ideas. I'm inviting the non-Latinos, some of my white counterparts to my table now, right? Because I'm coming up and I'm driving, right? That's where we need to be because we have such big ideas that a table is a big idea, right? You can invite others and then you can drive business, right? So that's where I want everybody to think about operating instead of joining someone else's table. However, if you're enjoying someone else's table, one of the biggest pet peeves I have in the history of the world is be prepared. And I know, we talked about this last year with mentors. The number one thing you should be doing is studying the industry, studying the business, studying the problem, studying who's going to be in that meeting. You have to study your ass off. Sorry for swearing, right? Outstudy everybody. So by the time you get to that table, you are showing up big. You're coming with questions. Your ideas are well vetted and thought out, right? That's powerful. Right. But if you just show up and hoping to get a word in, that's not going to cut it. That's the last time you'll see that table. So that's the difference between showing up big and just kind of being a warm body. Right. That's where you don't want to be. So anyhow, Rocky, that's kind of my feedback on that piece.
So create your own table. That's the mindset. That's the mentality.
Absolutely.
I
yeah.
mean,
And it's ideal, but you're going to have both situations.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm a foodie person, and the idea of bringing people together, like just visually speaking in my head, is when you invite people to the table, you're inviting them to a meal, and there's no way to bond more with people than taking the time, listen, and break bread together. Right now, if you want to break bread literally, I can be fed people, but also mentally, right? You can feed each other with your stories, your experiences. I mean, there's nothing more than, warm to the soul than making an authentic connection. And if you culture that is all about authenticity and warmth and feeding you until you gain a lot of weight, I mean, what's not to love about it? I love that idea of making the table because it's a party. It's your own party. Right. So
but
I'm hungry,
by the
people.
way, Sia can be bribed with food. Okay. So get her to do whatever you need to do. She
Always.
can be bribed with food. Oh my God.
Always.
No, but talking
Okay,
about
we have a
food, I
great
mean,
question from.
gosh.
I know.
Go ahead.
Well,
No, no, go ahead.
well, okay. First off, I can be bribed with food, and I love all the food that the Hispanic and Latino culture can bring. So if anyone wants to come and send me some stuff here in Dallas, I will never say no. I
Yeah.
do want to ask this one question from Sincera, if you guys don't mind,
Oh,
because it's just coming up to mind right here. And I don't want to lose it. And you've got so many comments coming in, Raquel. I'm having a hard time keeping up. But since I ask, what does powerful leadership look like? So, what have you seen, Ref, and maybe Raquel as well, of what you've seen of what a powerful leader looks like?
Yeah, it's such a big question, and there's so many elements to leadership. Leadership is not just one thing. But if I had to break it down, like for me, when I see a strong when I think of a strong leader, I think of somebody who's definitely well put together, definitely someone with great vision, right? Great presence, very poised, somebody who's very influential that people listen to, right? Somebody who gets results and loves going above and beyond and leading by example, right? Not telling people, but really leading and pulling people with them. Somebody who's very articulate and communicates well, right? But with care at the same time. So you can see there's a lot of different pieces to leadership. And I cover a lot of these in my book, but when I'm just taking a step back and thinking, when I see a great leader, those are the things that stand out to me, right? The warmth of a person. Yeah, all those things. It's a beautiful thing to see once you see it in action.
oh, yeah. I think being that perception of how approachable a leader can be, how accessible a leader can be or is, it's very important to me. That I've always, if I'm intimidated or anything, if I feel that I cannot approach that person, then I'm like, it
Mhm.
just being able to resonate across the table or relate in all the levels that you can think. Obviously, we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and it took me all these years to actually realize that and really internalize it, and I'm okay with that now. Attract and repel is a huge thing. Vibrations, frequencies, all of that exists, but people sometimes, we don't think about it. But for me, I think humility, being able to always be willing to learn and know that you don't have all the answers as a leader, but people do look up at, to you, saying, oh my gosh, she or he must have the answer. No, no, I'm also walking this journey of learning alongside with you. There are some things that I don't. There's some things that I've learned because of experience, and there's some things that I've, theoretically learned. But being accessible, approachable, and remaining humble, I think those are, for me, kind of like the biggest and strongest signs of a leader.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to throw in there too is really big for me is being a problem solver. Once you get into, that's how you create confidence. If you can get into any situation and problem solve, regardless of what it is in business, right? Like I'm supremely, unless it's like tech or anything like that, I'm supremely confident I can go to any business setting and solve a problem. I'll figure it out, right? I'll come up with options. I'll drive align the team and then drive a team towards results. I can make that happen, or I'll find a way to make it happen. And that's one of the best attributes anybody can have in your professional career. And the better you to problem solve, you need solutions. And to create solutions, you need to be thoughtful and come up with ideas, right? You need to be innovative. And then you need to be a leader and actually drive teams to realize outcomes. If you can do that over and over, that's a sign of great leadership. And again, those are things that will help your career.
Oh my goodness.
I,
Absolutely.
I
Hmm.
can't agree more. I mean, so I just happen to see Angels here. Leans in with faith and family, right?
Yes.
Uh, Look, I'm not the most religious, but I do believe if you have something that helps anchor you and center you, and you lean into it. There's power in trusting in yourself and having faith in yourself, as well as faith in whatever belief system you have, because I think it helps keep you that humility, as you were saying, Raquel. And and listen, right? Like if you are living life in humility, you're intentionally listening more often than not. And problem solving, we know we're always going to have problems. And some of them
Yes.
are going to be doozies, right? But if you can actually address it in a way that you admit to your team or your family to say, hey, this done messed up situation, but let's look at it together, right?
Mhm.
And a good leader
I love
may
that.
listen to the team, right? The leader may listen to the
Mhm.
team, but a great leader will also say, I've taken the input. Here's where I think our decision should go, and
Mhm.
trust themselves to say, I'm going to make this decision
Mm.
ultimately. And now I'm not saying ignore your team, but take the input in. Those great leaders are the ones that take it in and then
That's
distill
right.
it to where it's going to solve that business problem or
That's
family
right.
Mm.
problem, whatever. Because I think of leadership as like your relationships you have with your family too, right? Whatever role you have in your family, because we all know there's roles that we all play. You still could be a leader in situations with your own family as well. So, I'm seeing so
Well,
many great comments here, you guys, and I'm trying to keep up. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
and let me be honest. At home, I am not the leader. My wife is the leader, so I'm just gonna call that out. And then, all right. So there's a different
Because
role
you're a
at home for
smart
me. Just
man.
FYI. Yes. And then Rocky separately, Angel, who's just on provided quote, connect with him. He's a phenomenal human being.
Okay,
Can
Angel, we gotta
Yes,
connect.
please connect. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's what you were gonna say. Okay, awesome. You know, we mentioned so many aspects and elements that are very important and just conducive to be a successful leader or to help teams successfully be led or and lead. What drove you to design, come up, write, the Latino Leadership Playbook? I mean, I just think that it's just a phenomenal tool. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to dive into it just yet, but please. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it came down to my leadership journey. It was about six, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. I'm losing track now of years. I was frustrated with my career. I was a project manager. I was getting the best projects in the organization, right? But I wasn't getting promoted, and it seemed like people around me were getting promoted. And I remember Latina telling me, she goes, I need to work on my communication, my presence, get involved throughout the organization, like in employee resource groups, all these things that we're talking about, communication, and I'm like, I had no idea what all that was, right? So that changed my life. That one discussion, and I'm a very driven person. So I looked up all these things. I started applying them, learning, failing, right? But really driving hard and creating a great network, a strong network, especially at the senior leader level. I was always able to connect with the senior leaders. It's just that's a superpower of mine personally, and I leveraged that to my career advantage. And then I saw, now my career is in a really good spot, but because of the conversation, I blasted those barriers. And then I've learned more stuff because of that, right? I've made it my own. And so when I see Latinos stuck in middle management and they come to me and say, hey, what am I doing, not doing? I'm literally repeating what the same person told me 6, 7 years ago to these same people. You need to do this, this, and this. And once they do, you start seeing the confidence grow. You start seeing mobility in their careers, and magic was happening. And I was having these individual mentoring sessions. I was always repeating myself. Now I'm like, I should just write a book on this, right? Just make it available to everybody, the masses. And before I did that, I think I read every book, Latino leadership book in the world, just to make sure it didn't exist. And it didn't, to the point that you said it, Rocky. This is not a book; it's a tool, right? It's a Harvard Business Review for Latinos. That's basically what it is.
Mic
Um,
drop.
I love that.
yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that.
So yeah, and that's what inspired me. It was just such an opportunity for our community to develop. I keep going to developing, right? It's such an opportunity for us, and there's a tool, not just the book, but the program also, which is $500 for the program for 5 months. By the way, it's hopefully an easy one. But these are things that are going to move the needle for our community.
Oh my goodness. We definitely want to be able to give the audience opportunity to get the book. So I think we do have a QR code audience that we definitely want you to start scan, scan,
Yeah,
scan.
perfect.
It is an amazing tool. I am telling you, I think Ref, you just did a phenomenal job with this playbook. It like again, it's not just a book. It is a tool that guides.
Right.
So please, definitely let us know a little bit more about it. How it has been received just stellarly.
It's interesting. I always get the comment from older folks, seasoned folks, that I wish I had this 20 years ago. Which is still, Yes, but it still applies to your career today. It'll help you accelerate. So please keep, regardless of where you are in your journey, this book applies from the college level all the way through seasons. There's nuggets in there that will be applicable to you. So please take advantage of it. But what I'm hearing is it's a phenomenal book, resource. I hear resource all the time, not so much book, but a tool. Um, and there's been nothing short of that. And that's the way I built it. It was very intentional. And when I wrote it, I remember just feeling like it was just, I felt like I was a vessel, and this information was just flowing through me, right? And so I'm sure there's, my faith is strong. There's bigger things that are happening that allow me to provide this resource for our community, and so that's how I feel about it.
I mean, I love the fact that you said you're a vessel, and you are channeling. Hey, you are definitely living out your purpose, and you're honoring yourself in that regards, because you have been such a stellar leader. You recognize all those qualities within yourself, and you're like, you know what? I am repeating myself over and over again. How can I, compile it's like a database. Also, this is how I look at it, of resources
Mhm.
for my Latino folks, but obviously Latinos and beyond as well, because a lot of the knowledge and expertise and wisdom that you imparted, it's uniform, right, all across the board as well. But to me, it's just very important to be able to let people know, hey, this is what is out there for you. This is the type of information that you can get to better yourself, even if it's just inching your way each and every day. But get better and improve, right?
That's right. That's right. And this is a bold statement, but a real statement. If you buy this book, and I'm not here to sell books, I'm actually here to sell programs. But if you buy this book,
Yeah.
um, it will be the best $35 that you will ever spend in your life. I guarantee it.
Hmm.
That's a big statement, but I stand by it.
Yep.
And if you know anybody in your network, a college student, anybody, gift them this thing, right? It's really going to make an impact. So I just wanted to just a level set with that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, again, this was last year, but it's made such an impact. I don't know, the community, people who've gotten it. But now let's definitely talk a little bit about the community, the program, and how, how that correlates and how it relates and what it does for the person.
Absolutely. Understanding that, because it's a bigger book, just really quickly, when I first wrote the book, I was just hoping to fill 40 pages. I was going to do a book of do's and don'ts because I'm a very direct person, if you can't tell already. And I was like, just tell me what I need to know and do and not do, right? And I remember talking to my publisher. I was like, how many pages is the bare minimum? And she's like, typically 200, 225. I'm like, holy crap. I was like, how am I going to get there? Well, the book is 457 pages. So it's a bigger book, right? But it has
Yeah.
everything. Um, but understanding that, and understanding that everybody, is a reader and all this stuff. And again, it's meant to bounce in and out of chapters. So you don't have to read the whole book at once. But I want to provide a solution that help people grow outside of the book. So you need the book to be in a program, but an easier path, or a different path, I should say, easier. So I created the Latino Leadership Club, which is a 5-month program, right? We meet once a month for a couple of hours, and I go deep on topics, and I provide real examples, step by step, literally how to sell your idea to a senior executive, how to advocate for yourself in meaningful ways. And people think advocating for yourself is bragging about yourself. And that's probably 10% of it. The best way to advocate for yourself is how you show up, right? It's how you operate. It's the presence you have. It's the projects you get involved in. It's the people who are in your network. The first thing, we can do a meet and greet, and you can tell me you're the best thing since sliced bread, whatever that is. I'm not going to believe you until I see you in action. And so that's advocating for yourself, is how you operate, and allowing people to see that, because they'll make up their minds about you. Um, but anyhow, so I go deep on different topics, mentors, sponsors, right? Being a strong communicator, developing your executive presence, thinking strategically. And I do this over months because I want to see that development, right? I'm very results focused, and I hold you to account. So I'll ask you just point blank when you show up. So how did it go with your manager? Because I say, make sure you're discussing with your manager. I'll just put you on the spot. How did it go? Right. So it's impossible for you to show up. I guess you can show up unprepared, but you're going to be in a bad position. So I want to make sure we get results. we're showing progress, and at the end of it, I want to see that confidence way up. What I have seen in my program is a 100% transformation in confidence to be a leader in a workplace, both at the professional level as well as the college level. And actually going to A&M, Rocky, really quickly, and I gave this talk to the Latino group there, and Tim Scott he's a vice provost. He's a white guy, and he came and he observed. And Texas A&M, I think initially was going to put an amount of people through my cohort. So I don't know what the number was, but it was going to be a given amount. After the discussion, Tim Scott says he believes in so much he wants to send everybody through it, right? So that's the power of this thing. It develops confidence, it develops awareness for us all to be very strong leaders and accelerate in the workplace.
Oh my goodness. I'm just so happy. I missed my chance to meet you in person when you were here last week. I was like, oh my God, why? Things happen for a reason, and I know our time is going to come soon, especially, but it's just phenomenal. And I'm so proud to hear that, my alma mater is embracing this concept, embracing all that you have to offer, because it is powerful. It is life-changing, transforming lives and impacting the world. And I cannot wait to see where it leads, where the vision goes. And but yeah, I'm just so proud, so proud.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a couple of call outs too, because you have Elsa Gonzalez. She's a visionary who took a chance, and she's at Texas A&M. She's the new, I think she leads external engagements in the provost office. You have Carmen Youngstead, who's, I don't know if you know her, she's in Houston. These are visionaries. These are people who are leading the way for entire community. This Texas A&M thing is a big deal because it's going to set the tone for the entire nation. So Elsa, Carmen, Tim, and others, right? They are pioneers, and along with our collaboration with me, it's going to change the future. So I just want to call out to the team over there.
Amazing, brilliant people. Yes, I've had the pleasure of meeting Carmen, and oh my God, I tell you, just powerful, such a super powerful woman. And I love her. So shout out to you, Elsa, and also Tim Provost, right? Anything related to A&M, I'm crazy about it. Just because I love it. I am brainwashed, I know, but it's okay. That I bleed maroon. That's what I say. But I love it, Ref. I cannot wait to see where it leads. And obviously, you have my full-blown support when it comes to that, and all my family here. And a quick shout out to Adriana Rosales. I know you know her too. You know what an amazing Latina she is. She was on the show not too long ago, and just how she shows up to allow us to write, put our words in ink and in legacy and perpetuity. And I love that because you've done just that. So it to me is just so important. But we had another question, right? I just want to make sure we have time in order to address it, because
we do. Mr. Stephen Ang, he is our author whisperer out of New York.
Yes. All right. He asks, how often do you reflect and reassess your definition of great leadership? Ref.
All the time. At least once a quarter. I reassess myself. I look at my brand and what I'm trying to achieve, and how I've done, how my progress has been, for the past few months. All the time. It should be part of all of us of how we do that. Stay on top of your brand. It's something that's very important. If you do not know your brand, reach out. I always say reach out to at least 5 to 7 people you trust, and you don't have to be friends, but people who see you operate and that you trust their feedback. But ask them for your top 5 strengths, and ask them for 2 words that describe yourself. That's your brand. When it comes back, it'll be a bunch of stuff, but then theme it, bucket, put in buckets, and then that will be your brand. And first of all, you're going to like everything you hear because it's all your strengths and describe you, right? So it's all going to be good stuff, but is it going to be what you want to be known as? So for instance, I remember one of my cohorts, we all did this, right? And everybody's really happy. They said I'm an authentic leader, and I'm all, I work hard. And I'm like, cool, right? But I was like, think of executive leaders. What comes out? And strategic thinker, business acumen, executive presence, right? These were the big things that popped out. And I was like, okay, now look at your brand. and where are you compared to that, right? So you could see that there was a gap right away, and it was like a big aha moment. It was like, okay, so once you level set, and it's okay, now what are you gonna do to start, working towards these executive leadership qualities, and that's a very powerful experience. So yeah, level set, find out where your gaps are, and then start aiming and developing a plan to get to where you want to be or need to be.
Oh, it's funny.
Another mic
Again,
drop.
boop, boop. I'm like, oh, that I just created that short in my head. Boop. You it's always be learning, right? And I gotta tell you guys, early on in my career, I wish I had really listened. I had access to so many amazing mentors, people who volunteered their time to say, Sia, let's have a conversation. And I just didn't have the maturity at that moment in time to really understand the value of what I was receiving. And now, as we are reflective of our life and experiences, it's like you still need that board from all different ranges. Even get the opinions from people who are starting out in their careers, because their perspective is another perspective to help you remain humble, right? But also remember that there are different perspectives and agendas and needs. So always be learning, because it's just like life, people. Always be learning anyway. Stay curious.
Yes,
Yeah,
stay
and to
curious.
your point, Sia, I even take it a step further. It's learning and then applying, right? That
Yes.
applying is really what makes it real. And I'm a very inclusive leader. I go elders, I go young. I want perspectives that I do not have. I
Mhm.
go, for instance, a lot of my mentors are white, right? Because they're different perspectives that I don't naturally have, and so all that's very intentional. And so, but yeah, learn and apply, be inclusive, get as many perspectives on Hell who's on here. I use him as a sounding board all the time. He has a great healthcare lens, which, and I'm learning more in that space. But just, yeah, align yourself with people who are going to help add value. I mean, you
Mhm.
add value in return, right? It's not a one-way street. And
Yeah.
figure out ways to plug in, to make a connection,
Mhm.
to give a free talk. Like, I do these things to give back as well. But whatever
Yes.
it is, find a way to add value.
I love that. If we are going through life just taking, then what are we really doing? It's that, I find the biggest joy in giving back as much as I can, pouring into someone. And the best way we can do it is by using our voice, right? By being able to tell our story and share what we've learned so far in our life uh, with the person who might be just a few steps behind us. It's all about sharing the community and the unity. Come unity. I usually like to say that as well. But thank you so much for asking that question. Just because it's so, you can take it so many different ways. But I know we're coming to the end of the show, and I don't want it to end, but I definitely want to give people an opportunity to find out how they can reach out to you, how they can connect with you, and yeah, go from there.
Yeah, a couple ways. One is obviously LinkedIn. You can message me. Another way is my website, refugioatilano.com or refugioatilano.com. I have a cohort going on right now with my leadership program. I have 50 people, and mostly Latinas, to be honest, like 90%
Wow.
Latinas.
Wow.
So we just started our 5-month program last month. But if you're interested, what I teach applies to everybody. If you're first generation, second, it doesn't matter. If you want to accelerate in your career, I don't care what background your ethnicity, this will help you accelerate 100%. And so, my next cohort starting early next year. So if you're interested, ping me right through my website, through LinkedIn, find me through Rocky. But I'll make sure to help get you in. I think we got about 40 slots left. I do 50. So far we got right away. I had 10 people jump in. But yeah, let me know. I'm here to help.
And this is for 2025, right? The cohort.
2025. Yes.
Yes. It's your time to thrive. That's what I say. 2025, you're going to thrive. Okay, yeah, no, ignore that.
Hey,
uh,
Ouch. That one hurt. That hurt.
Ignore that. You know what? I need more coffee. That's what it is. No, I was looking at my cup, and shout out to my mug to my daughter. She just came back from Camp Cullen, not too far from here in Trinity, Texas. And so, yeah, baby, thank you so much for my little gift. She's like, I'm going to take mommy this. And
There you go.
I'm showing it. So, but yes, it's important, like I said, to be able to infuse some humor through our lives, and just be kind. Help somebody. Ref, I have one last question before we close out.
Mhm.
What advice would you give the 20-year-old version of you looking back? What advice would you give the 20 year, and I'm specifically saying 20 because 20s, so that year 20 was rough for me.
Yeah.
So and I'm thinking of it from a mentorship standpoint.
Be very thoughtful and take advantage of mentors. And specifically, I would definitely advise myself to go as high up as you can when you look for mentors, not just, I should say not just, but get senior leaders, because those senior leaders, they have that broad perspective. They have broad networks and industry perspective, and they have great ideas. Those things can go a long way to help you open your eyes and to create your perspective, right? It'll give you a different lens, a powerful lens. And so that would be my number one is identify and connect with senior leaders in meaningful ways, and cultivate those relationships, right? Even my mentors and sponsors from when I was 20s, I still have a lot of those people in my life today, as friends.
Aw.
So cultivate that.
That is so. I know, Sia, you mentioned sometime like a few weeks ago that one of your mentors, when you were going into corporate, you just touched base with them, right? And how did that feel?
I gotta tell you, it's such a nice feeling to stay connected. Really, I mean, all said and done, it's about humanity and again helping one another and rising to the occasion and doing in a way where everyone else rises with you, right? And so just maintaining that connection, it's so critical. And I'm loving this conversation. Ref, I don't know why I don't hang out with you more often, my friend. Side note, I might see you in Chicago in December, so
Let me
I
know.
may hit you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And just really
Or
quickly, I'm also, if everybody's in New York in December, I'm speaking at the Hispanic Leadership Summit this year in December. So the first, I think the week of the 10th. So let me know if you're in town.
oh
oh my gosh.
oh
So I've
don't tell.
been dying to go to New York.
Great.
Geez, I've been saying this, Leslie. I saw you in the comments earlier. Queen, I love you. Thank you so much. I will make this happen soon. I know. I've been wanting to go to New York so bad. I've never been to Chicago either, so that's also in my little check mark that I have to get done. But when are you coming to Texas again, Ref?
I'm sure sometime soon, especially with the work I'm doing with the Aggies, and I've made some connections in Dallas. I'll see if maybe we can hook up while I'm in Dallas. I'll probably make it one
Yeah,
trip, but either I'm guessing sometime later this year or probably early next year. I'll be coming through.
I am
Awesome.
so looking forward to that. Just because I know that there's just so many plans in the works and a lot of visions, and as we add more leaders to this big vision, it's just gonna get even better. So
That's right.
Ref, thank you so much for the opportunity to try to talk with you. But before we leave, we definitely want to pay homage to our sponsor. Please, Sia, Road Healthy.
Let's do it. Oh, I don't know why it's not playing. Hold, please.
Because they wanted to see.
Falling asleep with your head in the wrong position is a pain in the neck. You deserve Tausi Comfort for head, neck, and back support. Go to tausibrands.com and get your comfort on.
Can I tell you how much I love Janice Shokrian and my Tausi? I love Tausi and just the amazing comfort that it brings in so many levels. So yeah, I love it.
Well, it's funny. I show off my Tausi, and basically, if you're not familiar with what Tausi is, it's a pillowcase that has this unique U shape that gives you that lumbar support or the neck support you need if you're in a sitting or laying position. And it's funny, I don't have my Tausi right now because I spilt on it, and it's drying. So
Yeah.
it's washable, peoples. That's all I'm saying.
Yay! It's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Tausi again, Tausi Brands. If you don't know much about them, please check out my links, and I will be sharing with you more as we go to. But anyhow, guys, it has been a wonderful time. I respect everyone's time, and I know Raf, you just came back from a conference, so we definitely want to be able to have you enjoy the rest of your day. Guys, thank you in the comments for tuning in again. And we'll be back in a few weeks with another stellar guest. So stay tuned for that. Stay blessed, guys. Be safe. And hasta luego. The next
All right.
time.
Bye.
Thank you for joining. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe and follow us for the next episode.